Hello there. Tonight is Thursday, September 12th. I'm on a little bit of a podcast roll. Um, I'm gonna do one by request tonight, and like I usually try to do, I kept it down to 5 points. I'm 34 years old. I will be 35 May 15th. And so I love to take your requests because that makes it a little bit easier for me. So don't hesitate to tweet me and let me know, or Instagram me and let me know what you'd like for me to cover. But I'm going to let you know in 5 quick points things that I wish I had known in my 20s. The number one thing that I wrote down was that being single is not the end of the world. For us young African American women, I mean, you got Steve Harvey hawking books, CNN doing specials. Everybody is talking. I mean, you even have these big picture houses making film, something new about our being single. And I think that I fell prey to that at some point in my 20s. And I probably listened to, tried, read almost everything that was out there. And at 34 years old, I want you to know that if you are in your 20s and you are a single woman, or you are not a single woman, or you are going through a breakup, it is not the end of the world. Being single, and I have been in long term relationships, I have done that. I did that in my late 20s, and I've done it in my 30s. I do it from time to time. But when you're in your 20s, you get to do things exactly the way you want to. You are young, you are discovering, and I noticed that when I was in a long-term relationship, I lived with someone. You kind of have to do things together. You have to compromise a lot of the things that you want to do. And if you intend to have a life partner or someone that you want to spend the rest of your life with later, in your 20s right now, go do everything that you want to do, everything you want to see. Go have dinners by yourself, movies by yourself. Have a lot of fun with you, because I'm certain that it will make you better in the relationship. Which takes me to my second point about being single, is that being single in your 20s gives you time to develop into a better candidate. I wish that I could stress this to more people. When you are spending the time to really get to know you and to sort of develop as a young woman and be exposed to different things and challenge yourself in a lot of ways, this is one thing that I noticed. The better I got, or the more successful I became, the better the candidates get. So if you notice that your pool of men, um, you keep it's the same ones, and it's like, oh my God, I'm just not into this. I promise you that the hotter you get, the hotter those candidates get. And not to mention, you just get more choices, better choices. Don't believe what anybody tells you about becoming successful and being single and there's no man. When I tell you that the the better you get, the more successful you become, the broader your circles become, and the better the candidates get. Period. Um, Other thing about this is, something about being single is that good on paper or good in bed, we're grown, doesn't equal good for you. So you got to kind of remember that. Just because somebody has the perfect story on paper, or just because they are great in bed, does not make them great for a relationship. So accept it for what it is. This person is great on paper, not good for me. This person is good in bed, not good for me. And remember that. You got to be sure to enjoy your life. Number two, what I wish I had known in my 20s, that the rewards of being disciplined and focused will be greater than you can ever imagine. Um, the things that you think will happen to you, and the things that you think will come from being disciplined and focused, are much greater than you can ever imagine. So whatever idea that you have in your mind of, if I just say discipline and focus and I become this, or I get this done, I'm going to have this, or I'm going to feel that. Whatever it is, it's 100 times greater than that, which is what I help keeps you focused, because you can't even process or fathom the goodness, the greatness that comes from your discipline and your focus at this age. Um, and the personal growth, that is the most exciting thing about, that is the greatest reward, who you become as a young woman by being really disciplined and focused in your 20s. Number three, I have speak and I have in quotes, the fuck up. Speak the fuck up. It's okay to tell people how you feel. I wish that in my 20s that I was more comfortable with my voice. Contrary to popular belief, yes, I'm very outspoken, and anybody will tell you that my leak will pretty much tell you what's on her mind. But there was a part of me that kind of would withdraw. So my method would be to kind of like evaporate into the universe. Like people would just never hear from me again. You do something to me, you hurt my feelings, you wrong me, and if you wronged me to the point that I was really devastated and crushed, I would just evaporate, you know. But if you got me to a point where I was kind of like just annoyed, oh, I would go off on you. I'm notorious for that. But when you really took me there, I would just evaporate. And in my 30s, I am learning to speak up for myself and to really enforce boundaries with family, with friends, and kind of it's okay for you to say, I'm okay up to this point. Once you and I get to this point, I no longer feel comfortable and we have to stop or we have to readjust or I have to walk away. And it's okay to be vulnerable and say to someone, I am no longer happy with the way things are going. I have to walk away. And something that I just learned today in therapy is that you don't have to be so afraid of like finality. That was, I think, my thing is that I don't like for things to be final with people or things because I know that people and things change. And so I hate to be so final because I'm like, what if this person changes? What if I change? And the truth is that even if you do, it's okay if you circle back. And it's okay if it's just you have to walk away from that for now, or you have to end the job for now, or you have to walk away from, you know, a long-term friendship, relationship for now because it's just not serving you. You don't have to be afraid to walk away for now because everything's not always so final. It's just not. I had to learn that. I wish that I had known that in my 20s. Number four is just stop beating yourself up. I see so many people online sort of apologizing for their greatness or looking beautiful in a photo and kind of like putting themselves down in the caption. And it's okay if you go ahead and step into your greatness even if you're not really there, practice. You know what I mean? Practice being good to you because I can assure you that the other people will always beat you up. That is guaranteed. You will be beat up for as long as you are breathing. So stop being so hard on yourself and stop playing how awesome you are and be okay with being dope. Like, that's all right. Number five, our last point, is probably should it be number one. In your 20s, please process. You are a beginner in life. So you should not be comparing yourself to experts, people who have been around for a long time. You cannot measure yourself up against photos. You can't measure yourself up against friends. I know a lot of you are in your 20s. You're looking at a lot of the friends you went to college with. They're getting married. They're having children. They got these jobs. They have these cars. Everything's not always what it seems. I'm telling you, you can crop photos and edit movies. Everything's not always what it seems. Everyone's not always as happy as they appear. And don't look at a situation and compare it to yours because I've said this many times. Social media is essentially a highlight reel. Don't don't compare your life documentary with somebody's highlight reel. Everybody's going through something. I know that people may look at my Instagram or my social media and I have bad days. I have suffered from depression in my 20s. When I was 22 or 3, I was diagnosed depressed. I continue to work through it. I have bad days. I have good days. I've struggled with anger. I mean, there are just some things that you can't share on social media because there's no photo that says, I'm angry today, I'm sad today, I'm feeling inadequate, I'm feeling unloved, I'm feeling unlovable, I'm feeling not so beautiful. There's no way to show that. So don't think you know what someone's going through. So I mean, because you don't know, I just encourage you to support one another. And I try to be like that all the time. It's like I try to be very supportive of strangers, people I don't know, because I know that you never know what somebody is going through. And so understand the life cycle. You are a beginner, you are still learning, you are like in preschool of the whole serious landscape of life. So if you're behind, you don't have the perfect job, you're not the boss or the VP, you're too young, you haven't learned enough, you don't have enough experience. So get over it, be quiet, shut up, and learn everything you can possibly learn right now and make your mistakes, because now you can make them without being so embarrassed. And I will wrap it up by saying I really want you to enjoy every minute of the rocky, tumultuous foolishness of being in your 20s, the bad decisions, and know that life is a jungle gym. You may go across, you may go down, but it is not a ladder. Nobody goes straight up to the top. So I hope you guys have a good night. Talk to you soon.